What do you do if you cannot break a rusty nut or bolt loose? I'll show you a technique that you may not be thinking about. Oftentimes an impact wrench like this will work, or a big breaker bar with a huge cheater bar on it. PB Blaster or WD-40 is kind of like a formality. You just have to try it. Now, before you try heat, there's something you could try before that. A lot of people talk about this fingernail polish remover. The idea is that you take this, which is acetone, and maybe something like transmission fluid, and I find there's actually some validity to this solution. PB Blaster can only penetrate so far into the rusty bolt. When you add acetone, it really increases that. There's also something very important to understand is if you get this thing to start moving, that's not the whole game. If you get this thing to go 1/4 of an inch, you might think, oh, I'll just keep going in reverse. If you do that, you're not going to win the game. If you get that 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch, you want to take it in reverse and then keep going backwards and forwards until you break that rust loose. I've had it where I get them to start moving and I'd say, oh good, and I just keep going in reverse and you'll just break the bolt off. I'll explain how I use this acetone. First, spray the bolt with something like PB Blaster. Add a little bit of this acetone into the lid. Now pour that acetone right onto the bolt. Now give it another squirt of PB Blaster. Whatever you do, you don't want to take this fingernail polish remover and get this on your hands because it'll take all these different chemicals and bring it right to the bloodstream. Now we'll put on the breaker bar or the impact wrench and start going to town. Now if I see any movement at all, as soon as I feel pressure, I'll put it in reverse and keep going back and forth. This is important. The impact wrench is not working, so we'll try a breaker bar. When I apply pressure, I can finally get it to move. I'll move it forward until I feel tension, then I'll bring it back in reverse. I'll keep moving it back and forth until I can feel the rust start to loosen up. And I'm feeling it a lot better right now. After moving it back and forth, I'm really starting to feel it loosen up, which is a very good sign. Now I'll go back to the impact and continue the back and forth. I can feel a lot of motion, and this makes it a lot easier to get it back and forth. It's locked up again, so I'll use the breaker bar. So I can get it to move just a little bit, so I'll just keep going back and forth. We don't want to break the bolt, so just easy does it back and forth. With about 6 back and forth movements, you can see it's moving a lot better again. Maybe we'll go back to the impact. We'll take it back and forth again. Okay, we're really close now. See if I can get it all the way down. And there we go. With a crowbar, I can start to pull it out. Spray some PB in there. I'll tap it in so we can move it back and forth to get it out. We'll keep moving it back and forth. I'll use a ratchet to get it out the rest of the way. Okay. I'm starting to see the threads here, so we're on our way out. So there's the bolt, and 10 minutes ago, you would have thought that was never going to come out.